seeing their story. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, I see that it's live now.
Okay. What's good, guys? So I am here with a whole bunch of vegans from New York. And I figured that this would be a dope conversation because I just want
Seeing their story. I'm like,
oh wait, what happened?
Oh yeah, I see that it's live now.
Okay. What's good, guys? Oh, snap. I am here. Listen,
I was
new
like,
here.
why am I? I was like, is that delay that bad?
I'm new here. As a lot of people who are watching this know, I don't live in New York anymore, but I was born and raised there, went vegan there, started my whole journey there, and I've lived in every borough, so I can't claim anything. But we can go, I don't know if it's in order for you guys, but Alexandra, do you want to see?
Sure. I'm originally from Colombia. I moved to New York about 10 years ago. I went vegan in New York about 5 years ago now, I think. What else should I say? I don't know. I'm an actress, fitness instructor, animal lover, dog rescuer, foster mama. That sums me up, I feel.
And Remy?
Hi, I was born in New York, but I moved overseas and I came back probably 8 years ago. I've been vegan for, I think, 6 years now. Also went vegan in New York, and I do vegan and gluten-free recipes and yoga and wellness. And I'm fostering a cat right now too.
Becca.
Hey, I'm Rebecca. I was born and raised in Brooklyn. I lived for a whole last year in California and came back because I couldn't do it. And I've been vegan 4 years. Is it 4 or 5, babe? It's 2 years less than Roberto.
4 years.
4 years. There you go.
Like how you have to check.
That's
I forgot my age for half a year, so
all the time.
I'm Elle. I'm a flight attendant, and I'm also an actress. Lately, I've gotten into acting, so that's pretty dope. I am a dog mom. I have 3 little babies. One of them is a little sick. She's here. And yeah, I've been vegan like, I think 7, 8 years, something like that. More into activism like the last few years.
Hey, yeah. America.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, everybody? Or rather, what's good, guys? It's Berto. Nah, mad corny. Anyway, I've been vegan for 6 years. I'm from the Lower East Side. I lived in California for like 4.5 years, and that's actually where I went vegan. What else? I currently kind of in Brooklyn, and yeah, that's it.
Oh, I started recording the video kind of late, so my bad, y'all. Where are y'all favorite places? First, let's start with that because I want to talk about food.
Same order? Am I starting again?
Oh wait, we got Milani coming in. Yes, Milani, perfect timing. But yeah, it would be the same order.
Okay. Should I start or are we waiting?
Hold on, let's let her do her intro. Milani, you there? Where we're professional.
Wait, I don't see my video. Do you see me? No?
No, it's just
No.
your profile picture.
Oh, okay. You see me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We just did intros, so if you want to introduce yourself, your vegan journey, and where you from, and
I'm real late. I'm sorry. I have a kid and stuff got out of hand.
Go ahead. You can introduce yourself.
Who, me? Oh, my name is Milani Malik. Hyphen Richardson now. I got married. But I know this is about like how long you've been vegan and your transition and everything, but I don't know anything about that because I've been vegan since the womb. I'm the youngest of 6, and my parents raised all of us vegan from the womb, you know. And they stopped eating meat and turned vegan when they were in their early 20s, and they're now in their 60s and 70s. So
That's so dope. Absolutely amazing.
it's just a lifestyle. That's
right.
just all I know.
And that's why I wanted you in here, because you don't have a beginning, you don't have a vegan anniversary. Your birthday is it? So it's like,
yeah. And it's crazy to see how much everything's changed, like from when I was younger till now. Like, the commercials about being vegan, you know, you have so many more options in the store, or there's more vegan restaurants, or restaurants that have a vegan option menu. You know, we didn't have that. Like, we didn't go out and eat. It was just, all right, come home. This is what you cook. This is what you eat. That's just what I knew.
Yeah. We were just about to say our favorite places to eat, because I want to just jump right into where to go in New York. Everyone's favorite spot. Started with
Is it on me? Who's it on?
It's on. So you're gonna be last.
Okay.
Well, since I am Colombian, I discovered American food really late in life. So Champs has a really special place in my heart because I moved to America and then I went vegan. So I was like, wait, no more pancakes. So when Champs came around, or I discovered it, it was like life-changing for me, the Colombian girl that loved pancakes. So I love Champs. As a Latina, I always like ja, 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 though obviously as a Colombian, I want to pronounce it ha, ha, ha. So however you want to say it. They do like their Mexican.
You're right, it is
sure.
ha, ha, ha.
And as a fellow Colombian, I like beef. I mean, I hear people say it both ways, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna say it both ways then, just to make sure everybody's got it what I'm talking about. But yeah. So yeah, I would say ha ha ha, Champs, and beef butt are probably my 3 favorites.
Okay, I think my favorite spot is probably Beyond Sushi. I just love everything they make. It's so good. And they just opened one kind of closer to me, so they deliver to us. So we've been ordering from there a lot. What else do I love? Really love Double Zero Pizza, which I know they have in LA too. And also love Ja Ja Ja, or such a good one.
Am I next? I think I'm next, right?
Yeah.
My top 3, well, number 1, I mean, not original, but Ja Ja Ja. I always get shit on when I say Ja 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 in videos, even though I know like J is H and everything, but whatever. That one, but I don't know if you guys have been, but like literally 1 block from there is the Pisco Vegano, and it's a place that wasn't vegan. It went vegan like last year, and it ties, like it's so good. And then wait, I had one more place in mind. I forgot. Oh, I've been craving Spicy Moon, but that's it. Those are my top 3 right now.
My absolute favorite is in Brooklyn, called Greedy Vegan, and they have 2 locations, one on Route and one on Bergen. The owner, Letitia, is just, I mean, have you guys been there? She's amazing. And my second one would be Blossom. That's more upscale. Like if you want to go out to eat and have a nice night, it's, you know, they serve a big portion, even though it's like kind of expensive, but it's really, really good with the a menu that varies. So it's pretty good.
Oh, I mean, like, it's my turn. I think everybody said some really good ones, and y'all all said a lot of the ones that I was gonna say. So damn. I will have to say, because I'm really into like the vegan meats, and Buddha Bodai, is it downtown? I love them because I'll get like the platter with like all the vegan meats and like all the samples, and it's just I think that's my favorite that y'all haven't mentioned. So I think that's it.
All right, I guess it's my turn. Yeah, I fortunately get to try a lot of the foods that Rebecca tries. So we pretty much share like the same likes when it comes to certain food. So vegano for sure. Ha ha ha. I also like Mexican burger. Like when it comes to like vegan food, they're great. Like having them more recently, I realized how much better they are than a lot of other places. And then when it comes to like just a New York staple, let's talk about pizza. I would say Screamers for the variety, but Pizza Gusta and Bronx for the quality of like the dough, the crust, and stuff like that. It's pretty up there. So.
For me, it's definitely Champs. I love every time I'm in New York, like I go home, I have to go to Champs. And then I do love the people and a lot of the food at Urban Vegan Kitchen. And there was this place back in the day. It's closed now, but I'm just gonna mention it. No, there's two places back in the day that I was obsessed with. Food Swing used to be in Williamsburg, but it closed in like 2013, I think it closed. So, but I used to go like back in my like vegetarian days, like vegan days. And then Curly's Diner was like a vegan diner that was on 14th Street. I was like obsessed with. And then they closed back in the day. It was before Champs was even thought of. I think really before like veganism was even a thing the way obviously it is now. But yeah, those are just honorable mentions. But what's open now? Vegan Kitchen and and Uptown Veg. If y'all in Harlem, 125th, Uptown Veg. I know everybody loves to talk about seasoned vegan. No disrespect to them. I get it. Harlem, vegan, seasoned vegan, all goes in the same, whatever, fine. But Uptown Veg, I fucks with it.
Facts.
What was like the transition like for y'all? Like what was your family's reaction? Because you know, living out here or out in New York, I always got the, oh, you trying to be white, or you know, from my route, you know what I mean? Oh, what are you gonna eat? Oh, I don't know what you're gonna do. Like threats of being starved because nobody's gonna cook for me. Meanwhile, they didn't realize that their rice and beans and donuts are vegan. So I'm like, okay, sure. You know, what was that like for you guys?
So I've been a vegetarian, or was a vegetarian, since I was in like middle school back in Colombia. So I think that was maybe a little bit harder back then. When I went vegan about 5 years ago, my family was just like, oh, another thing, you know, like kind of falling into the same category. So I don't think it was that hard for them. But back in the day when I was young, they were definitely like, what do you mean? You're like, I don't know, 10 years old. You can't say what you want to eat type of thing. So I went on like a mini hunger strike until they actually bought me. Like back then, we didn't know that rice and beans actually had protein. So I ate a lot of soy meat when I was younger, when I went vegetarian. And unfortunately, I saw the cruelty. Like my grandparents would kill the animals for us to eat. So that's when I was like, oh, yeah, no, I'm not doing this. So when I went vegan here, I think it was, like, for them at least, it was just like, oh, another quirky thing Alex has. So not as big of a deal for them. But they wouldn't cook for me at least. I would go to visit and they're like, so here's your money, go get your lunch. That was like my visits back home. They're like, we're not even gonna try to understand it. Just you go get your food. We love you, but there you go.
When you're eating?
So I actually went vegan when I was in college, and I think it was a lot easier because my parents definitely did not understand why I wanted to go vegan. I guess it was kind of similar. My dad, he's Korean, and he thought that I just didn't want to eat the food that he was making. He always thinks that I want to be separating myself from the culture. So I think that was really hard for him. But it was easier for me because I didn't have to worry about, asking my parents to make me something else. I could cook for myself. So it was actually really good timing. And when I go back home, my parents were living in China at the time. Just seeing my siblings, they would actually complain when I came back. They were like, "Oh, we have to eat healthy now that you're here visiting. Like, you should go back to college." But now one of my younger sisters actually is pretty much vegan. Like, she eats vegan for the most part, except my parents don't really want her to. And I think for her, it's so much harder because she's still in high school. So she doesn't have the control over, everything she's eating. There's still like concern about whether or not she can be responsible in terms of like nutrition. So I think the timing for me was really great. I never have advice for people when they ask me, how do I tell my parents I want to go vegan? But I almost wish that I went through that so I had better advice. I think it is a lot harder. But that was my experience. And I guess the only challenge for me was my parents thinking that I was something related to like disordered eating, because I did have issues starting from age 7. So for them, it was like, oh, this is restriction. And I wouldn't say that I went vegan to heal my eating disorder, but I definitely noticed that it was the first time I felt so connected to food, and I loved eating. I loved cooking. It was so much fun, to enjoy food again. So if anything, I've noticed that it's definitely made me feel good about like food choices. I know that it's doing good for, myself and my health, but also environment and animals, which has been, really empowering. So.
I went vegan. Honestly, I don't know why. Like, I went vegetarian almost on accident. Like, I just, for some reason, stopped eating meat so much. So I don't really have an exciting story for like when I went vegetarian, at least. And then 2 months later, I watched a video about like, it was Dairy is Scary, but I don't know if it was that video alone, but I watched like another short video, I think. And I was still eating like Greek yogurt and eggs because I was working out a lot and I was afraid that I wouldn't get enough protein if I didn't eat Greek yogurt and eggs. And after I watched that video, I stopped completely. And then I wasn't really an ethical thing for me so much. So like a few months later, my dad's a hunter. So he went hunting and he brought back deer, and he wasn't like offended. He was sad that I wouldn't eat what he brought home because he like did it for, the family or whatever. So at that point, it wasn't like really ethical. So I was like, it's fine, I'll eat it, whatever. But I hadn't had meat in like 6 months or maybe 4 months, something like that. And I got the worst stomach ache. I got a stomach ache for like a whole 2 days straight. And I just stopped eating any animal product after that because my body just didn't want it anymore, I guess. But yeah, it wasn't that exciting. My family wasn't, they were fine with it. Like, now my mom tends to cook in a way that's like she makes a ton of plant-based stuff, and then she'll make like a chicken on the side. So if my family wants to eat like the vegan stuff with chicken on it, they'll do that, and then I'll just eat the vegan stuff. So it's really a lot easier now, at least the past month that I've been home, because my mom is so happy that I'm home that she'll like cook me anything. But back then it was a lot harder and I had to like make my own meals most of the time. Um, yeah, I feel like they get a little bothered sometimes, especially around like Easter or whatever, because they'll make a lamb and I won't want to even like be around it. They'll get a little bit offended because it's your tradition. But on the day to day, they're okay with it. Yep.
Berto, what about you?
Me? Okay.
Um,
because I see the order that you.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
no, it's okay.
Try it.
Well, when I first went vegan, I was living on my own. So I was already like 24 or something like that. And my mama didn't cook for me. She didn't help. Like, she had nothing to do. So I really don't have that much to add. Besides, she would look at me crazy, and when I would go to her house, she would keep trying to convince me, like, "Yo, come this salami, like, eat this cheese, this queso fry." Like, she would pressure me for years. It wasn't until like the last 3 years that she started like easing up, because I started putting pressure on her, like, "Oh, why don't you switch instead? Why don't you drink oat milk? Why you don't switch to tofurkey?" And then she actually started doing the changes. So it wasn't like she was thankfully not able to have any kind of influence on me, but I think I did have a little bit of influence on her. So that's pretty neat. So that's my story with that about that.
So with me, like, the first time I experimented with veganism was when I was in college. I actually started like a blog, and it was really dedicated to trying new things because I was trying to break out of my shell of being shy. So the first thing on the list was be vegetarian for a week, but then I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go extreme, go vegan. So I was like, I'll do this vegan challenge for a week, and I tried it. I didn't do research or anything like that, so I was definitely not eating enough. Um, I made a couple mistakes during that time, and I felt really sick like 4 days in because I tried to like do some push-ups, and I was just not eating enough. So I felt like milk to make myself feel better. That was when I was in college, years after to California, and me and my ex at the time, well, she was pescatarian. So I was just like, I'll try something new. I went pescatarian for 2 years. And then from there, we learned about like the mercury levels in like the fish because we were about to buy like a tuna steak. It was like changing colors, and the associate was like, there's been so many recalls with the fish here. So like, you might want to be careful with that. And from there, we went vegetarian. And that, I think that lasted like 4 months. And then after that, I read an article from Russell Simmons, and he said that it was bad karma to eat animals or consume animals in any fashion. So then that's when I went vegan, and it's been 6 years. But in that time transition, my family is not really close. Like, we love each other, we talk to each other, whatever, but we don't have like a tradition behind like holding us together or anything like that. There's no real strong like cultural bonds. I was, and my also really accommodating. So with these changes that I made when I was living in California, she started thinking about her food choices and thinking about the things she felt in the past from eating animals, and that allowed me to influence her in a positive way. And she eats mostly vegan now. And the other thing that I neglected to mention is that my brother, one of my brothers, he's been vegetarian for like the longest time. So I'm not sure if that played a part in me like being more aware about things, but there was nobody really telling me, oh, you shouldn't do that or anything like that, because we weren't close to like have that type of relationship. I would just do whatever I wanted anyway.
Yo, your mom's cute. I remember when she gave me
The bag.
the bag. She made a denim bag out of like old jeans, right? And it said like vegan on it.
That's so cute.
That was her first time meeting Sabrina too.
He got you something like me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, yo, somebody's probably been stalking my Instagram to know that I know to actually give a gift. I was like, who's sneaking?
Lonnie, I know you don't really have a transition story. So when you meet people, what are the reactions when you tell them that you've never eaten meat and that you've been vegan from the jump?
Well, when I was younger or like right now?
Just throughout life, period.
Well, it's more common now. You know what I mean? Like I was saying, how we can see a commercial about it now, or like you can randomly go to a restaurant and you'll meet more people that, you know what I mean, eat vegan or just want vegan options, as opposed to when I was younger and you say vegan, you know, that wasn't commonly term. Like it wasn't a common term. You know what I mean? Most people would just say vegetarian back then. And just say, oh, well, I'm a strict vegetarian, which we were like, okay, well, no dairy products, no meat, no fish, no animal byproducts. We're not taking the shots with that. We're not like nothing. So people were like, oh, you guys aren't black. We're like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. It was just, I'm the youngest of 6, and my parents, my first cousins, we're all vegan, right? But my siblings and I are the only people I knew of growing up. Like, okay, we're vegan from birth. You know what I mean? So it wasn't common. And my friends, it wasn't like I was like, oh my gosh, I'm shy. I was like, this is what I'm eating. They're like, you don't know what you're missing out on. I'm like, nothing. Like, I've never had it. I'm good. And you know, they always make jokes and stuff like, oh, she only eats nuts and berries and grass, you know. But because also I was an athlete, when they started to see like, man, she has a lot of stamina, man, she has a lot of energy, man, she's the fastest one, like stuff like that. Then they started to say, you know, behind closed doors, like, hey, well, what is it that you eat? I want to try that. You know what I mean? But they weren't coming out about it. Now today, I'll get a lot of DMs or people just know and they'll be like, okay, can you help me with some more vegan options? Or but now you can type it in Google, you can type it in Instagram, whatever. You'll have, you know, people doing vegan cookbooks, vegan recipes. Just it's just a plethora of so much knowledge on, you know, eating plant-based than it was years ago. You know what I mean? So for me today, it's like, wow, am I really seeing a commercial? Am I really going to the store and seeing more than just tofu blocks on the shelf? You know what I mean? So you have so many more options today, but it's more acceptable today. So it's not so much, oh my God, I can't believe you don't eat meat. It's more like, oh, really? Me too. Or I have a cousin or someone knows someone that is vegan. And so, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like a little community.
That's true. For those who don't know, Milani's an amazing basketball player. She is insane. That's all I'm gonna put out there. And her energy, y'all feel it through here, but her energy in real life, dope as fuck. I'm a fan.
So Sabrina, we go back. We were working at the Garden together. You know what I mean? Like the Knicks all day.
Yeah, we working at the Garden and doing the like the kids, the
fan development. Yep.
Junior stuff. That was a good time. All right, so somebody asked a question. I'm interested in starting to become vegetarian then vegan, but I have severe food allergies, fresh fruits, fresh veggies, peanuts, soy, and all nuts. So I have a problem starting because of my allergies. I need to make the change because of inflammation issues to feel better health-wise. That is a long list of allergies. I ain't gonna lie. Do any of y'all have any advice for someone who's allergic to almost every
grains is not on that list. You could live off grains and I don't know, maybe frozen veggies if that's not fresh, but could you still eat them?
Yeah,
but if grains is not on that list, except besides soy, I would say any type of grain then might help her, him, whoever.
Oh, that is interesting that it says fresh fruit and fresh veggies. Does that mean?
You know what I would say?
I would just ask, what in the fresh fruit or veggies are they? Because there's so like none of them. There's such a range.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think they would just be specific. I think maybe if they narrow it down, they can maybe find what specific fruits and veggies they are allergic to and avoid those.
And then we have so many hybrid foods, you know what I mean? So it could be hybrid vegetables that they're allergic to. They have to do more research about that.
Yes.
Or if it makes a difference if the veggie is raw versus cooked. Some of them, they also change when you cook them. So maybe as long as they're not raw and you cook them, maybe they can eat them. I don't know.
Or even
I have a friend that has an allergy like that. She can't eat certain fruits and vegetables because they're not cooked or something like that. Or especially certain potatoes and certain things because they're not cooked. So that could also be a thing.
I used to eat apples like all the time growing up. And then one day I remember I got an apple. I was hyped. I was cleaning it. I was like excited. I was like, ooh, I'm about to tear this apple up. It was juicy. It was red. It was beautiful. It was perfect. I took a bite, dancing because I'm excited. I dance when I eat because when it's good, it's good. And then by the third bite, it was getting harder to swallow. And I was like, okay, I don't know what's happening right now. By the fourth bite, I was like, I realized I was allergic. My throat closed up. I was like, no. Ever since then, I realized, I just developed an apple allergy out of nowhere. And I think it's from what they started spraying the apples with, because that changes over time. And I cleaned it and everything, and I still can't eat apples to this day. Like, if you ever want to kill me,
People.
Let me write this down real quick.
that's your plan, go ahead, because I'm gonna eat it anyway. Oh, they can't have anything raw. They can only eat oranges and strawberries.
But so if it's not raw and it's cooked, they can have it, or
Yes. Yeah, they said correct. They can't have anything raw. Oh, because then you can.
just
then
Easy.
you can make curries.
I don't need nothing raw. I cook everything. I did a raw diet one time for like 21 days, but everything else I eat is cooked, so it should be all right.
Yeah.
Definitely need to do research though, because if you do have that many allergies, definitely gotta do your research, like extra research.
Don't kill yourself trying to figure it out. And I don't know if anybody here is a professional. So take what we're saying lightly, because we don't want to be responsible for anything crazy. Oh, okay. Lost for me. Should be back. I had so many questions in my head, and I should have wrote it down. I was so excited. I was like, yeah, what's all right? Battle of boroughs. What borough Manhattan taking out is the friendliest?
Brooklyn, easy.
Definitely not the Bronx.
Brooklyn is so vegan. Well, okay, but not Bay Ridge. Like I live in Bay Ridge. We have one vegan restaurant, and honestly, I'm surprised we have that. It's like this knockoff discount Luann's Wild Ginger, and I'm not even complaining because I'm happy to have anything vegan over here.
Pan 8, something like that.
Well, I can't hear you. What?
What's the name? Is it Pan 8?
No, it's called Shangri-La.
Oh, just curious.
Yeah, it's like literally the only vegan spot over here, and what makes it worse is that like everywhere else is Italian food. So like, what kind of bullshit like vegan food can I get at an Italian restaurant? Like dry pasta sometimes if they don't put egg in it. But other than Bay Ridge, Brooklyn for sure.
Yo, Long Island is surprisingly very vegan. I know nobody really knows,
recently.
but it's got some spots. One of my favorite places growing up as a teenager and like even as an adult was the Witch's Brew, which was like a little cafe in Long Island. And I didn't even know what vegetarian was, let alone vegan. And they had vegan desserts and ice creams and stuff back in like 99, 2000, 2001. You know what I mean? So like Witch's Brew, Long Island, ahead of the game. Absolutely amazing. But yeah, I should have known that Brooklyn was. Now, is Brooklyn more friendlier than Manhattan?
No.
Nah, definitely not. Because Manhattan got like 100 vegan restaurants.
Yeah. Because
Brooklyn is
big section. Once you take the average, Manhattan easily wins. Once you take the average of Brooklyn. Because
Manhattan's more expensive.
It is.
That's facts.
I don't know if the food necessarily. I wouldn't always say that. Vegan food specifically. I don't know if I noticed that much of a difference, between the restaurants necessarily. Unless like the nicer ones, but I think in general they're still pretty.
Right. What's everyone's favorite, like, I'm super broke, I'm dead broke. I don't have I'm out, so I can't cook. I don't have the option to cook. Where's your favorite cheap spot to eat at?
Babe, what's that place that sells rice and beans for $2.75 and it's a whole ass plate? What is it called? Castillo de Jagua. I can't.
Yeah, Casa de
Agua?
Wait,
Agua?
Yeah.
Not agua. There's a J in it. But you can get the plate, those like metal plates, with the plastic on top. Okay, they fill it full of rice and beans. It's $2.75. And then if you want avocado on the side, it's like a whole little like styrofoam thing. I mean, it's not styrofoam anymore, but you know what I'm talking about, of avocado. And then they'll charge you like $4. It's easy 2 meals. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Rio de Jaguar. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I think they have 2 locations too, but yeah, I only know that of that place because of Roberto. He took me there once, and then we found out how cheap everything was. It was great.
Yeah.
Milani, what about you with growing up? Where'd your parents take all of y'all?
We didn't go out at all. My parents cooked. Like like when we lived in Far Rockaway, my father, he started growing. It's funny, but he started growing food out of his suitcase on the roof. And then from there, he went in the backyard because we were close to the beach. And then he started growing his own garden. And so by his garden, just a few things my mom probably would pick up from the store. They cooked everything. Like we really didn't go out till we got older, honestly. But right now, try toast out Brooklyn if you know just something quick.
Toast out.
On Ralph.
Yeah. I toast out. I mean, I've had it delivered to me. I forgot why. Oh, I didn't feel like going outside. That's why. Elle, what about you?
Well, I think it depends on where you are because in the Bronx, if I'm broke and I need to eat around here, like I'm just gonna get some fries. I'm gonna get like some French fries. Probably if there is a Spanish spot, I would do the same thing. Get rice, black beans, cebolla, tostones, yuca. You can get that at any Spanish spot in the Bronx.
Right.
Pretty much any Spanish spot anywhere. I think that that's like the go-to.
Yeah,
White
but
rice,
don't
beans.
so many of them use like lard or chicken in the rice and beans, or one of them. The only reason I was excited about that one place is because I asked like 500, well, like 5 people whether they use like any sort of animal products, and it's the only place that said no, at least like that we checked.
That is true. That lard will sneak up on you.
Yeah, I think
I always ask that too, but because okay, so my job, I'm not always here. So when I do come here, I'm home. So if I do go out, it's like a special thing with friends. So yeah, I'm pretty much eating home most of the time, unless it's like something planned for the most part. So I say I can't add too much to this part either. But.
I'm a burrito girl, so I also go for any Spanish type of place. Because I speak Spanish, I feel a little bit more confident to triple check that they don't use any lard. Because sometimes you ask and I feel like, and I tell them like, I'm sorry, it's not that I don't trust you, but I need to like make sure. So I like ask again or someone else just to like double check. But I eat a lot. I'm a fitness instructor. I teach like 5 classes a day, so I need something very, very like big and filling. So I feel like burritos are my go-to because then I can for sure be full. And you can find them pretty easily in any type of Latin place.
Chipotle is also a good go-to too if there is one around.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's that cheap. It depends what people consider cheap. También.
Right. No, I mean it's accessible for sure. There's a lot of options, but I also feel like if you literally Google Latin place or Mexican restaurant, you're gonna find those too. So I rather do the small mom and pop type of thing versus the chain. But no hate, I've done Chipotle when I have like nothing else, and it's still a good option. Yeah.
Let me tell y'all what I used to do. This is like, I don't know what to call it. I don't even know. I don't know. But I used to walk around to the falafel carts. I used to be like, yo, let me get one falafel. Like, what? Let me just get one falafel. That's it. I'm not asking for a whole plate. I just want one ball. They're like, oh, you want a plate? I'm like, no, I want one ball. Here's 25 cents. Let me get a ball. And they'll just give it to me. And I used to go around to each cart. Eventually, have had a whole meal. It's so stupid.
It's so funny. You hustle yourself a whole meal.
I used to have to because there was a point in my life where I was all the way down. I didn't have a place to stay. I was working, but I was saving. So I was like, I can't really spend money on food like that. But you know, I was already I was in the beginning of my transition. This was so long ago, and I was so like dedicated. I'm like, I'm not gonna let brokenness like compromise my compassion. Like, no, I'm good. And yeah, so I used to do that, and it worked. I used to get free falafels, and but they were mad nice about it. This one guy, he like recognized me, and he was like, "Hey, you want a falafel?" Like he thought it was so funny. Every time he saw me, "You want a falafel?" I'm like, "Bro, I got money now. Like we good." It's a whole plate. Let's go.
Sabrina, I have a question for everybody, right? When, like all of us, when we would go out and eat with our friends that are not vegan, do all your friends also get mad at you because you ask 1,000 questions because you might go somewhere that has vegan options? And so you just want to keep checking and checking, like, are you sure? Well, wait, I have another question. What did you cook this in? And what oil is this? Do your friends get mad at you when you ask a lot of questions when you go out with them?
It got to the point where I'm like, I'm not going unless we go into a vegan spot because I'm tired, y'all. Like, I'm that stubborn now, but back in the day, yeah, like, oh, here we go.
I mean, I agree. I do the same thing now. I'm like, I don't have time for this. I'm hungry. I'm going where I want to go. So either we do something else or I'm just going to eat before we go out or something. But back in the day, I don't think they were mad. If anything, they would feel it was like a weird, like, oh, are you sure you can eat here? And I'm like, well, bitch, I'm already sitting here with you. So I don't know. Like, we're here. So yeah. But they wouldn't really get mad about me asking the 1,000 questions. It was more like a weird guilt trip being like, oh, I'm sorry, can you eat here? But we were already there, so yeah.
Guilt trip.
Okay. Well, I feel like, okay, so I get into that situation a lot because normally I have new coworkers every time I work. So when I get somewhere and no one else is vegan, I'm usually the only vegan. So either I had to convince like 4 or 5 people to let's all go to a vegan restaurant, or I'm gonna be the one that's like not gonna chill and I'm gonna go do my own thing and go to a vegan restaurant. So it goes either way. So then when I do end up going, which a lot of the times they're nice, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna check the menu beforehand and I call beforehand and I ask all my questions beforehand because I'm usually that annoying. And it'll end up being like I kill the whole mood, the whole vibe. So after that, like it took a while, but after all these years now, I just, okay, we're gonna go here, fine. Let me call and I do all my investigation at a time because I am so extra and I don't care. If I have to ask when I'm there, guess what? If I have to talk to that chef, I'm gonna talk to that chef. Okay. If I don't have confidence in the waiter, I'm gonna talk to the chef and be like, bro, let me talk to you real quick. I'm gonna tip you separate, don't worry. You feel me? Pero yeah, so that does get annoying. So that's what I learned to do.
Wait, for those who don't know, she is a flight attendant. So that's why she travels and stuff like that. She's a flight attendant. So I can imagine that's very.
So wait, question. As a flight attendant, how do you eat vegan in airports? Because I have.
Oh, actually, when I get back to work, I'm gonna start a whole thing where in each airport where I like to eat. Because in Dallas, I have my sections. I have my sections in Atlanta. I have my sections in every airport, in LaGuardia, like everywhere. So I actually do want to start that.
You have a blog?
I do, but I don't work on it enough. Like this year, I really want to get into it, especially we have all this time. Like I started YouTube last year, but I didn't really work on it enough. And so I'm trying to get more serious about it because like it'll be dope.
That topic specifically is great for like amazing for a blog. And so I found this problem. I was traveling and I couldn't eat, and I was a year ago, I think I decided that I was gonna try to make a list of all the vegan spots in like all the major airports, and it ended up being like way too much of a pain in the ass. I even started an Instagram for it and everything. It's called Terminal V. And then
Terminal V, LaGuardia?
Terminal V. That was V. Yeah. And it was supposed to be like lists of all the vegan spots and all the top airports and stuff. But that's
since we can work on it together.
I'd be down, or if you want the name, or like, because feel like there's such a need. Because some terminals, you're fine. Like you'll find Chipotle, you'll find Jamba Juice, it's cool. And
but
then
some you ain't gonna find nothing,
when
so you
you
have to
can't
figure it
find
out.
something, you can't find anything. Like you're like, oh, okay. I guess I'm gonna starve, or I'm gonna pay $5 for this bag of pretzels, and that's it. But yeah, that'd be cool. If you put that in the blog, I would definitely check it out.
Bet. Thank you so much. I'm gonna start that, or maybe we'll work on it together since we'll figure it out.
Going back to like eating with people at non-vegan spots, the worst thing about it is that you have nothing but the healthy options. So your friends automatically assume that you're a healthy individual because your only option is a salad or something of that, like in that realm. And they're like, man, Sabrina's too healthy for me. I'm like, no, I'm thinking about like vegan cake right now and like all the just junk food. You guys are depriving me of that. I think that's like the funniest misconception about vegans. And situations, like scenarios like that kind of just like further like make that like, oh, this is really how they are. They're just super healthy. They eat salads and I don't like salad. Get this salad out of here.
My experience like has been pretty different, I would say, just because when I went vegan, I made it a point to like make it kind of business related. So not too long after like starting my Instagram, I started thinking of ideas on how to like grow my brand, monetize it and stuff like that. So with that being said, Elle is the first person that I have like when I check my Instagram that I actually started following. Not the first official person, but definitely like the first person that I have because I unfollowed some friends or whatever. But I sought her out because she was vegan, and I shot Elle pictures from my cookbook. Alexandra, the same. Sabrina, I think connected. Maybe a little bit before they wanted to have you in a cookbook too.
I was in New York at the time.
Yeah. You were, I think, yeah, you had moved back to LA, I think. But I was, yeah. And making those connections, I kind of made a vegan friend group. So whenever I would go out, it would be with vegan. And then seeing that I had a bigger platform, my stuff was growing, they became more interested in veganism. So they didn't want to just go out and bring me to wherever they go, and they want to go where I go because they see that I'm posting this restaurant or that restaurant. And I'm not that close to like many people, friends and stuff like that, just because I have moved in different places. But for the people who I still have in my life, they're like interested in the vegan places that I go to. So it's been a little bit different.
That actually brings me to a question. I'm surrounded by people who are either vegan or cool with it. And they don't mind going to like vegan restaurants or whatever. And then about 4 years ago or 5 years ago, like before I met who I'm with now, like before I met my boyfriend, I was like, I am no longer dating meat eaters, right? Like I was like, done. That is not an option. If they eat meat, that's the deal breaker. And I know a lot of people be like, damn, like no, I'm about this life. So when I met Tony, he was already a year into being vegetarian. So him transitioning that to, and he wanted to go vegan, was super simple. It was dope. What has love been like as a vegan? I know Berto and Rebecca, they're up. So you guys came into the relationship as vegans already?
Yeah, we met because I followed him because I didn't have any vegan friends. So I didn't have any vegan friends. So I went on the hashtag NYC vegan and I followed like a bunch of random people. And he was just one of the random people that I followed because I just wanted to like have some sort of vegan example / community. So I found him through the hashtag, and then we became friends, and then we started dating. So we were both vegan when we started dating. But when I went vegan, I was dating someone who wasn't vegan. And at first it like didn't bother me because I was like new vegan. I didn't really care that much. But he kind of went vegan with me a little bit. And then he like found it too hard and he kept on saying he was vegan, but then eating all the free food at his job, you know. And then I was like, I didn't pressure you to go vegan. I don't know why you went and then now you're calling yourself vegan, but you're not. And that would bother me. Like, and that was annoying. But then when I started dating Roberto, I was like, damn, this is so convenient. We eat the same food. I don't have to convince him to go to certain places. Like, and then because of him, I made other vegan friends. And so now we have like mutual vegan friends or whatever. And yeah, I mean, Roberto and I are gonna be dating forever. But if we wouldn't, I would not date a non-vegan. It'd be too inconvenient. And like, I would low key get annoyed at certain things. So like, why put that extra pressure on a relationship? No, thank you. I'm good.
Yeah, and from my perspective too, like that time that I was experimenting with being vegan when I was in college, I met a girl that was vegan. I only put quotes because she ate Kit Kats. But other than that, she was vegan. She like anyway, that was her weakness. But anytime that like she wanted to kiss me or something like that, she'll be like, nah, but you gotta brush your teeth or something like that first. I'm like, and I didn't get it at first. Like, I was just like, that's weird, but I still did it anyway. I was like, whatever, I'll do it. But yeah, years later, I and because there is a way higher ratio of vegan women to guys, it was pretty easy to like meet different vegan women. And yeah, in that time, I told myself, I'm just like, all right, I'm not gonna date anybody who's not vegan because I can't fathom that, just like being intimate with somebody who's not vegan. It just kind of like turned me off. So
Right.
Yeah, that yeah.
Alexandra, what's your situation?
I mean, just going off of what Berta just said, unfortunately, the ratio is not favorable for us straight women, at least. So I wish I could afford to be just, like only vegans in here, thank you, but I can't. I've also had, I think, maybe like 3 boyfriends or partners that have been vegan, and ironically, they have been the worst partners, like boyfriends. So it also just, it made me feel like maybe I even stayed with them a little too long after I shouldn't have, because I'm like, but you're vegan, we have to make it work. And it really didn't.
That doesn't make
so
you
it
a
makes
good
it a little
person.
bit harder. So the way I see it, right, it doesn't. But in my mind, sadly, that's what I saw, right? I'm like, no, we have to do this because, yeah, we're vegans.
There's white
It took me too long
supremacist
to find you.
vegans.
We can't do this, yeah.
There's Nazi vegans.
That's true.
True. No, you're right. You're. So then, if I do date a meat eater, the way I see it is like, all right, then I'm gonna turn you vegan because thinking more long term, it's obviously gonna be a problem. So it's like in the beginning, if I see it like maybe there's hope, and we're doing this, and you're eating vegan with me, then I try that way. But it's hard. So I'm not all just vegan guys for now, but it definitely presents a challenge. Obviously, like dating someone who's not, because they have to be open. At least I need to have the hope that they're gonna have to go vegan at some point. Otherwise, then obviously it's not gonna work out. So,
right, that's understandable. Yeah, I've definitely that like, all right, like if you want to do this, you're gonna have to just kind of start today, and they did. And I know that sounds like crazy, but hey, man, my life, man. Milani, you're married.
Yes.
What's his?
Which was
What when you met him, was he or is he like what's his situation like?
Yeah, he's vegan, and it's crazy because yes,
You know,
you hear my mother?
Oh, she dead?
Yeah, listen, we drove down. We were like, we're not gonna be in New York right now because of my son,
Right.
you know. And so my father, he moved from New York and he lived. Huh? 1 second.
All right, we're gonna send it to
I
L.
can't- Okay, so when I went vegan, I was dating somebody that wasn't, and then I tried to turn them that. First of all, for someone to be vegan, it has to come from them, because for them to make ethical choices in their life every day is completely different than someone eating plant-based with you sometimes, you know.
Right.
So that person, that didn't work out. And then with my current boyfriend, he, after a couple years of us being together, he was like, okay, I'll start eating more plant-based, more and more. Lately, he stopped purchasing eggs, so we don't have no eggs. We haven't had meat or anything in our place forever, pero so yeah, so recently he stopped. So now he's fully plant-based, but that doesn't speak to all lifestyle choices. And I feel like that's also an important part, because let's say I purchase something that I'm looking for, something that's cruelty free, I'm looking for something that's also vegan, like all of the above, but maybe when they go shopping, it's not like that, you know. So that's still, you know, that's just still something that we have to work on, like him actually going fully vegan for the ethics of it, you know, not just health or anything like that. So I feel like that's my biggest thing. You know, I do see us, you know, long term, whatever, especially if he keeps that. But if not, we also have a conversation. Like if we ever adopt or have our own kids, like they gonna be fully vegan. You ain't gonna be giving them no eggs and no cheese. So better, we're gonna have that set up front. So if that doesn't work out and whatever, then I for sure would have a vegan partner, a vegan girl. That would be great. That would be lovely. But for now, we'll see how this goes. Hopefully he stays plant-based, and that would be amazing. But another thing is, if someone's not vegan, like it's harder to convince them to try new things, you know. So yeah, maybe they're not eating eggs and dairy, but then you still have to convince them, hey, you want to try this spot, you want to try. So that's still been a struggle. But yeah, so let's see. Let's see.
So Milani, what were you saying?
Oh, my bad, yo. But no. So in the sports world, obviously, I'm like, you know, damn vegans out there, like whatever, you know. If a vegan come, it come. I had just came back from overseas playing, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. And then I'm working literally a Knicks event at a game, and Sabrina, Speedy actually introduced us. You know that, right?
Oh, really?
Speedy was like, you know, I know this dude, and y'all would do a lot of good work together. He from Coney Island, whatever. So I didn't pay it any mind. I walk up the bleachers, and I'm talking to one of the kids that I, you know, mentor, and I happen to be standing in front of him, and I'm like, oh, my bad. I'm like, oh, you're Speedy. Like, you're the one Speedy told me that we would do work together, and we started speaking. And it really wasn't like oh my God, right? It was more so like we were just speaking, you know, sports talk. And then we said something. And when I said I'm vegan, he just stopped everything and was like, what? Me too. I'm like, get the hell out of here. You're not a vegan. You play ball. Like, you know, like seriously, that was like, I'm like, no ball player is vegan. You know, like obviously we hear about like Kyrie Irving, people starting to do stuff now, but I didn't think anyone was vegan. So when he said he was vegan, I was like, oh, really? He said, I know some spots we can go to. It was all she wrote from there. Like we met that Saturday, went to dinner Tuesday. We've been together since, had a kid. He's vegan. Like, I don't know. Like it was just random. He was vegan before I even met him. So, which was crazy. He was like his 9th year being vegan. We've been together for 5 years. Random. I was like, wow, okay. It just happened.
That's super dope. That's amazing. And I can't even imagine the reaction or what goes through your head when you're having a good conversation all as is. Like, yeah, we vibing, you're what?
Yeah, that's when it stopped.
It's like, oh, you're vegan too? Let me introduce you to somebody.
Seriously.
That's amazing. Somebody asked us what's our vegan go-to snacks during the lockdown. I'm gonna take 2 more questions, then we can wrap it up. Because I don't want to keep y'all too long. This is a fun conversation. I'm having a great time. So what has been y'all snacks during this lockdown?
I'm a trail mix girl. I love trail mix. I eat a lot of trail mix, so that's definitely my go-to, or any type of like nut butter on toast. That's pretty much probably explains why I'm gaining weight, because I'm just eating like bread and nut butter, but that's my go-to.
A lot of hummus sandwiches. Hummus and veggie sandwiches. Tomato, cucumber, hummus, and peanut bread. Like that could be a snack, it could be a meal, it could be whatever. That's probably it.
That sounds new. I actually have a really funny hummus, tomato, and pita story. When I used to do concert catering, I was working for Shakira, and I was excited, right? I was like, Shakira, like, she's dumb cute. I'm excited. I was like, let me eat this little quick snack because I was just, I just put it together. And this was a long time ago. This was when the tomatoes from Jersey were recalled because of E. coli, and I didn't know that. And I ate a tomato hummus situation. When I tell you, I got E. coli from it.
Curry.
And stuff was coming out of every orifice.
Oh no.
I was vomiting out of both ends. It was all So I don't do raw tomatoes. I'm scarred for life.
I don't blame you.
I hear that competition, I start to sweat again.
Maybe they put like cheese in it, because some people be messing around and putting cheese and dairy and hummus for no reason.
Oh no, I made it myself.
Yeah.
It was
you made it yourself?
Yeah. This is what I was doing catering. Like, I was making everything myself. And it was literally the E. coli. And I'm watching the news and like E. coli outbreak, New Jersey tomatoes. I'm like, oh, that's crazy.
Oh, got it. The tomato is got it. Sorry, I don't know why I tuned out of that little part. Got you. Poor baby.
That triggered something, Rebecca. It triggered.
So sorry to trigger you.
No, it's fine. I missed that combination. I'm scarred for life. Berto, what about you?
I've been mostly snacking on peanut butter sandwiches. Peanut butter sandwiches, or I've been really mindful of the things that I'm purchasing just to keep that budget. But I get ice cream once in a while, but peanut butter sandwiches, and then I'll just have like a shake with some peanut butter in it, and then that satisfies my like tooth.
So I've been having a lot of ice cream.
No, I know you have. Literally, that last conversation that we had was the reason why I got that Oatly strawberry ice cream. Because everybody's pulling out ice cream and shit. I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I fry a lot of food, y'all. Because half the time I'm frying tostones, I'm frying pasteles, I'm frying, like I be cooking. I cook a lot, so I don't just snack. But if I get snacks, what I be getting? I be getting the kettle cooked chips. I be getting a lot of chips. And then I also be getting, I do get granola sometimes. But I think I'm like chips and fried food. That's like my go-to.
Speaking of salty, have any of you guys had the white cheddar skinny pop popcorn? Oh, that is the best. The white cheddar is don't get the aged white cheddar. That one's not vegan. But the white cheddar skinny pop popcorn is vegan, and it tastes exactly I don't know what's the brand, but you know the
don't
black
get that.
white cheddar bags in the bodegas, like the
Yeah.
popcorn. It tastes the same,
Oh
and
my
it blows
God.
my mind. That is my favorite salty snack. So if you like salty, look for that one.
I like hip
Bet.
peas. Hip peas, white cheddar.
Hippies. Eso. I love me some
White
hippies.
cheddar kind of tastes like sweet, but like not in a terrible way, but a little bit like foot smell. Like they smell weird.
Molly, what's been your snackage? You have a young child, so I always imagine moms just offer their kids plates. That's what I know.
I'm about to go to Target right now.
No?
No, I'm about to go to Target right
Can you hear
now.
me?
So
Yeah, I hear you now.
It was messing up, but no, my go-to is the avocado sandwich on spelt bread with tomatoes and Dijon mustard. It's so good. And I would cook the bread in the pan, like almost like you're making the grilled cheese.
ooh, Sabrina made a popping grilled cheese the other day. I remember that.
So
In a
what
pan.
so I don't know if y'all do this, but I need y'all to start toasting your seasonings before you put stuff in it, because you put a little bit of butter on a pan, then you put the seasoning, toast it a little bit, and then you put the bread on top. Seasonings
Ooh.
on top of the bread. When you bite into the bread,
Mm.
Okay.
Amazing. It sounds amazing. It looked amazing.
so good. All right, my bad. I'm hungry, y'all. I haven't eaten yet. Let me see. Is there any more? Oh, what? Last question. First thing you'll do after the quarantine. It's gonna be the first thing I think I'm gonna do is cancel plans. Somebody's gonna make plans with me, and I'm gonna cancel them. That's what I do.
Well, depending on when it's over, my lease might be up, so I may need to look for a new place. That might be my first thing. I mean, I do miss food. I'm staying with my parents right now. I left New York about 5 weeks ago, so I'm in a small town in North Carolina. So I miss like actual vegan junk food. So I probably go eat all of the food.
I'm getting out of here and I'm getting another apartment. And after seeing your apartment, now like one of the requirements on our apartment is exposed brick. So
right? It's so nice.
Next, well, I was supposed to be in India right now doing some yoga teacher training. So my first thing that I would do is figure out these flights so I can get out. As far as like going out, I think it would just be like for a walk, because I kind of like miss going on long walks and just, seeing people. I was actually about that today. I was like, as much as I hate Soho, I miss avoiding people in Soho. So that would probably be one of the first things.
Miss me.
Yeah.
It depends, because for me, I took a 3-month leave from work, so I'm not working again till August.
Oh.
So I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Like if, for example, if New York lifts the quarantine orders before then, I don't know. I think the first thing I'm gonna do is try to get a job. Till I can go back to my regular job. Is try to get a job. Maybe do some acting, go back in the central casting, get some background work, like something again. Cause I think that's the first thing. Get some money.
Man, I mean, it's so messed up with everything. So, like she said, if they lift the ban off New York and we have our sports back, then I'll be able to go back to coaching my youth groups and stuff like that, and go to some of my favorite vegan restaurants and really try to just make up for lost time.
You know what? I think I'm gonna go back to New York. That's what.
Yes.
That's what the first thing I do. I'm going home, y'all.
Come on, let's all go out to dinner.
Yo, I'm with it. Yo, let me tell you. So I brought Tony out there for the first time like for the first time he was really able to like be out there we went for a week, and I showed him all my favorite spots. So I did all the stuff that I would usually do if I was by myself. None of the touristy stuff, because that's not what he's about anyways. And he loves it so much that I might be able to convince him to at least go over there for like a month or 2 or 3 or 12.
Okay.
So yeah, I definitely want to go home. That's the plan.
Dinner
that's
with
a good plan.
Sabrina.
Hey.
We'll go out to eat.
You gotta stimulate the economy, support our local businesses,
Yeah.
especially
Yes.
restaurants. Yeah, the restaurants have it really hard right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was amazing. Thank you, everybody on YouTube who's watching. We got 15 people watching. That's crazy.
Hey.
That's insane. I appreciate all of y'all. Thank you all for taking time to do this. We should do more stuff like this because this is so easy to do. Just sit in your house, already doing. And we can talk about anything. We can even play like games. Do other things. All right, YouTube. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna stop the stream. Oh, and then wait, I'm gonna tag everybody's Instagram and everywhere you can find them. As a matter of fact, let's go through that real quick. Where can they find you?
I am the no meat girl because I have a no meat tattoo. So there it is.
Mine is L Travels Vegan on YouTube and Instagram.
I am vegan bodega cat. Very long and New York specific. I need to shorten it, but for right now, it's just vegan bodega cat.
I like that.
Thanks.
My Instagram and YouTube are What's Good Berto.
Damn.
Mine is Milani Malik. Milani Malik. You'll see this when you see me.
And then I am Sabrina Smith on everything. Thank you guys.